for over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like there's a game, right? Except there's not an opponent trying to beat my butt. The only opponent we have is whatever lid we put on ourselves, right? No lids, full potential, full energy, and let's go. Let's take off, all right?
Coach, we got a lot of similarities. Chicago, immigrants, veteran, Army, Marine Corps team putting together today.
I know, it's going to be tough, you know, as an Army guy, to talk to a Marine, but we'll try to get along.
It's going to be fun, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, come up here, you're walking in, you're like, this sounds like a game.
Yeah.
This is them going, talk to us about energy. How do you vibe energy? And I feel when you hear an energy like this, and this is like your traditional insurance conference.
Yeah, the very first thing is you have to provide the energy. So I'm 78 years old, I coached for 50 years, and I still got energy, man. And I'm still hungry, and it's all about becoming. Not being who you are, but becoming who you're supposed to be now. And at 78, having an opportunity to be here, I got a chance to become and get better. And so I have to give energy to you, but with every kid that I had the honor of coaching, I told them, I'm gonna give you energy. Let's make a deal, man. You give me energy back. And if the two of us don't have to force energy from one another, some really special things will happen. I call it, Matt, 2 is better than 1 if the 2 can act as 1. And that's what I've tried to do my whole life. My wife and I have done it for 56 years. We've been married for 56 years. I learned how to listen. And, but we got married on graduation day, and we have 3 beautiful daughters and 10 grandchildren who all live within 10 minutes of us. So we're a family, and my daughters and my wife and I, our group text is called the Starting 5. All right, we're a team, and that's what you all are. It was amazing. I got here, we had a content call for an hour about a week ago to prepare. I'm a big preparer. And I asked Matt, I said, is it okay if I come early? So I got here about 8:45, and I've watched the whole show, so I wanted to get a feel for my team, man. You know, I wanted to, and boy, all of you, all the people who are up here, congratulations, man.
All right.
You did now, I'm in a quandary. I don't know which team to be on, you know. I guess I'll just be on the PHP team.
That's right.
That's a good team to be on.
That's correct. Coach, when you, looks like we grew up in some of the same buses and trains in Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago, he's Ukrainian village. Grew up in Ukrainian village. Okay? Your mother, early on, when you were playing for the team, she said, you better get on the right bus.
Right.
And you thought, wait, is it this bus, this train? It wasn't the literal bus. What bus was she talking about?
Yeah, you know, my mom was a cleaning lady, 8th grade education, the best person in my life. And I had an older brother he's passed now, he's a Chicago fire captain. And he was the good looking one of the family. And he didn't have big ears and no profile shots, really. My big nose. But I was a really good basketball player, and I'm getting ready to go to high school. And I was a little bit of a wise guy, you know, like I knew everything in our city. And my mother, before I'm starting high school, she said, Michael, sit down for a second. Come on, Mom. You know, I got to go with my buddies. And I said, sit down. And she said, tomorrow you're gonna make a big step. You're gonna start a new part of your life. And I wanna make sure you get on the right bus. And I told her, Mom, Dana to Armitage, Armitage there, and go Division to Grand, Grand to Laramie. I'm right. She says, that's not the bus I'm talking about. Now I'm getting impatient. Sometimes we get impatient, and my mom says, I said, that's not the bus I'm talking about. I said, well, what bus are you talking about? And she says, the bus you're going to drive for the rest of your life. And I said, what do you mean? She says, you're responsible for the bus you drive, and only let good people on it. And if you get on someone else's bus, make sure that they're good people. Yeah, I get chills thinking about it because it's the mantra I've used my whole life. And those buses will take you to places you'll never be able to get alone. And God bless her. That's I follow that advice forever.
Amen. Coach, I want to dive into coaching. What's the difference between a team that wins for a season versus a team that starts to build a dynasty?
Well, it's what you all, you're talking about. All the speakers were so good about what has happened. The excitement is what's going to happen. It's always that you can't live in the past, whether the past is great or not so great. You got to live in the moment and put yourself completely into it. I think, Matt, the main thing is you have to stay hungry. Okay, you can't be complacent. I've never been complacent. I never got tired of winning, and we got beat too, but we didn't want to stay there long. And the biggest thing, because you're here because all these teams have been successful, the will to win, and everyone's talking about winning, and believe me, I'm a big believer in winning, but more important than the will to win is the will to prepare to win. I played for one of the great coaches of all time at West Point, Bob Knight, and he's a tough coach, and I learned from him that the preparation to win was even more important than the will to win. However, if you can put the preparation to win and the will to win together, I call it being worthy of winning. And so for my whole life, and I want to be worthy of winning. So I want to stay hungry and do all those things, but I'll prepare. That's why we did a content call. That's why I came here to get more information, to get a feel for the team I'm going to be on today. And that's exciting. So don't lose track of the will to prepare to win. And the best preparer that I've ever coached was Kobe Bryant, LeBron James.
Coach, our arena's filled this morning with part-time agents, full-time agents. Guys are scraping together money to get here.
Yeah.
Guys are staying in the skyloft, they've been balling out. What's more dangerous to you? An overachiever that doesn't have a lot of talent, but he's overachieving, like he's putting in that preparation, putting in that work, or someone that's naturally talented, but they're underachieving?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't believe there are overachievers. If you should achieve, all right? And so if you haven't been achieving, something's been wrong, and that's why you're here, right? You're here for those people who are just getting started. Come on, you got it, man. You got it. Learn, prepare, and the people who have been successful, help them. Like one of the great things about your organization is talent makes talent better. There's a lot of talent in this arena. Make each other better. And if you're that person who has achieved or you're already up there, you can sometimes feel the hunger by helping someone who's trying to achieve. And like I learned from my players, I learned from my assistant coaches, and learn from one another, help each other, share best practices. And Matt, you all have the single biggest thing that's needed for success. And you understand your why. So in these 4 days, you've heard, you've seen, you have to feel. And you can feel your why. I felt my why. I knew I wanted to be a coach since I was 16. And I wanted to be a teacher, a high school teacher and coach. And opportunities, just like these teams that are talking about, they never knew. All of a sudden, by following your why, that feel is what you need along with the preparation. And the people who have made it and the people who are trying to make it come together. That's what these 4 days are about. And the examples that these people, these great speakers have given, should give you great motivation that, you know what? If that lady, if that man can do that, I can do that too. And you can do it too.
We all know you now in this chapter of your career.
Right.
The storied career that you've had. I want to talk to when you first started coaching them. And you couldn't say, I'm Coach K, I'm at Duke, come play for me. You didn't have that pull, you didn't have that draw. You're still building credibility as a coach. A brand new agency here is looking to build credibility in the insurance industry. How did you build credibility? How did you become someone that players wanted to play for?
Yeah, well, it all starts with relationships. And obviously, you're helping people with what you do. You're developing relationships with that family, to help them. And so, what I told each player that I recruited, and this is before we won, actually we were getting our butts beat pretty good. And I would say, look, I'm going to be one of the only people in the world who will tell you the truth all the time. And we're going to have standards about how we're going to have this relationship. My two main standards my entire life, and I did this with every team, even the U.S. teams with all the superstars, I'd say our two standards, we're going to look each other in the eye. That's how we're going to communicate. And none of this baloney, and we're going to tell each other the truth all the time. I'm going to tell you the truth all the time. And what happens then, Matt, is we develop a value. One thing to look at your teams and what are your values. The single biggest value is trust. Trust is the thing that gives you the foundation. So I call it the speed to trust. When I say something to you, you believe me right away. When you say something to me, I believe that. When I went to the United States Military Academy, we had an honor code. They still do. You don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those people who do. And so you and I would be cadets. I know as a Marine, it might be tough to take cadets. But, and we're in a class together, but we don't know one another. And after class, you say something to me. I would believe you right away. And if I said something to you, how good is that?
Yeah.
How good is that? And so that's what I tried to build with every relationship, with every team that I coached. The speed to trust. And the speed to trust with talent can beat a team that has more talent and does not have that speed. But if you have the talent and the speed, wow, you can win a national championship. You can win an Olympic gold medal. You can win a world championship. And I love that aspect, that relationship building.
Speaking of relationship building, every year you're recruiting.
Yeah.
Every year you're losing players. Every year players may transfer. You're always constantly recruiting. What is a player's talent, character? What's that punch list for you to have somebody land on your recruiting list for them to be recruitable?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we looked for three things my entire career in recruiting. Obviously, with the U.S. team, you didn't do that. We were lucky. We got the pick of the litter. And but in recruiting, I would look for, and they're all equal. The very first thing is talent. We need talent to win. The second thing, would they fit our environment? Duke is a really good school. Are they good students? And the third was character. And they're all equal. So we would study a young man. He'd always be the best guy in his team, the best guy in the city. And when a teammate did something, made a mistake, did he have his back? When a teammate did something good, was he excited? When there was a timeout, was he looking at the coach or doing this? In school, we got teacher evaluations. Did he have friends? Who were his friends? And the single biggest thing for me was when we got to see that young man with his parents. And not every young man had a father, but I'd say everyone had a mother. And I'd watch the relationship between that kid and his mother. When his mom talked, was he doing a teenage face or was he respectful and whatever? And so we recruited talent with character. We did not recruit talented characters. Now it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And so, although a lot of people felt that boy, we've helped these guys become really good young men, they were good before us. In other words, look, you may not have, in your business, someone may not have had that formal education. They may be in a business that doesn't relate right now, but they're hard workers, right? They have motivation, they have character. And so, to me, in studying what you all do, and I said to this, told you this, in doing the research on all, not on each one of you, but on the team, what strikes out is character, and so when you're trying to help somebody, and what you're doing, and all over the country, you're in every state, you have a chance to help, and you are helping so many people. They see your character right away. They see your trust. They see your belief, and they see that you want to be on the same team with them.
So, Coach K, it's easy to see talent. Yeah, give it up. That's right. It's easy to see talent in a basketball court. It's easy to see a 40-inch vert. It's easy to see somebody's free throw percentage, three-point percentage. As a leader, how do you see talent?
Well, I like talent that works. Okay, and so I should have mentioned one other thing in recruiting. We would go to practices, like how hard of a worker is this young man? Does he, like my mom, God bless her, she showed up every day. I never knew her to be sick or tired or whatever, and so many of the basic things for me were developed by my mom and my dad. But my mom taught me the dignity of work. In other words, you go to work, work. A lot of people think, work, I gotta work. All I know is when you all are coming on the stage and you're standing, when you go to work, I'm going to work. There's a dignity of work. It makes you a better person. Your self-esteem is increased. And as that is increased and your success in the work is increased, wow, what can happen? And then when you get all of you together and you're all celebrating that, you should leave here like rockets, in what you're doing. You shot out of a cannon, man, boom. Don't get shot out of a cannon. Don't, no matter, I know you're in Vegas, just be careful. Don't do any of that. Don't do any of that stuff.
My wife recruits her best friend, Tiffany Wells.
Yeah.
Tiffany Wells becomes one of our marketing directors, ringleaders. She recruits her father, Fred. Fred's son, Tiffany's